This video shows you how to add a dispatch in Transport Pro. The process is essentially the same regardless of the installation you have. There are a few different ways to add a dispatch. For this demonstration, I'm going to be in the Enterprise version of the software, so please note that the menus you see on the screen may vary depending on your installation. Let's begin by adding a dispatch from the Load Summary screen. In the Dispatch History section, you will see an Add Dispatch link. Click on it and an Edit Dispatch window will open. At the very top, you will see any dispatch notes that are attached to the load. You can click on the yellow bar to read the note. Just below that, you will see the load ID, which you can click on to bring up more load information. Next, select the dispatch status from the drop-down menu. If you are dispatching the load, you will select Dispatched from the menu. You can come back here and update the load status at any time. If you have a load in a planned status, it will show up in the Plan Load section on the Freight Operations dashboard. You can dispatch it from this section on the Freight Ops dashboard. You will not be prompted to automatically insert an empty movement until you change the status to dispatched. Once you mark a load as dispatched, it will show up in the Dispatched Loads section on the Freight Operations dashboard. Select who you are dispatching on the load. Are you dispatching an owner-operator, company driver, or broker carrier? Recall, I am in the Enterprise version of the software. If you use the Enterprise version, you will see all three options in this drop-down. If you use the Small Business version on the carrier side, you will only be able to choose from company driver or owner-operator. If you are using the Small Business version on the brokerage side, you will only be able to select broker carrier. For this demo, I'm going to dispatch an owner-operator, so I need to enter the driver's name as well as the tractor and trailer. Notice that when I begin typing the driver's name, a list auto-populates for me. I can click on the correct name to lock it in. In addition, if I have set up my driver correctly, the driver's assigned tractor and trailer will auto-insert when I select my driver. If you need to change the driver or equipment you are dispatching, you can click on the lock icon next to any of these fields and type in the correct information. Also, if you are dropping the trailer at the consignee location, check the Drop This Trailer box. The dispatcher field is required and automatically inserts a name here based on the criteria you use to log into the system. If you need to change this, click the lock icon and type in the correct name. A dispatch date is also provided for you and will be the current date. If you want to change this, use the calendar icon to the right. You will see that in the dispatch type field, it says Original Dispatch. By default, it will always say Original Dispatch on the first dispatch for a load. You do have the option to select Additional Truck or Repower as needed. If you want to send a dispatch confirmation, enter the correct email address here. You can choose to send just the dispatch info or the dispatch and pay info. If your installation is configured to integrate with Omnitrax or another supported EOBR system, you will also be able to send the dispatch information to the driver's messaging system. Now, you will need to review the dispatch information section. The shipper and consignee information, as well as any stop-offs, will show up here. Be sure that the correct boxes are checked for the dispatch. For example, if I have a driver taking the load from the shipper location to a stop-off, and from the stop-off to the consignee, I'd want to make sure that all three boxes are checked. The dates are copied from the load and are required. You can manually edit the dates and times or use the calendar icons. The system will also prompt you to insert an empty movement if needed, based on the location and dates you input. The move miles and fuel miles are copied from the load as well, and are based on the location boxes you have selected. The move miles are the miles that the customer has agreed to pay, and the fuel miles represent the actual miles between the shipper and consignee, including stops. Typically, the move miles and fuel miles are the same. However, you can manually alter the mileage if needed. Let's look at the dispatch pay. Based on who you dispatch, their default pay will auto-insert in this section. If you dispatch a company driver, you will not be able to alter the pay without changing it on their profile, unless you choose to set a flat rate for this particular dispatch. Since I am dispatching an owner-operator, I can pay by percentage, percent of gross. Now this option will figure a percentage of everything, including fuel and accessorials, per mile, per hour, or flat rate. Add any internal or dispatch comments. If you want to pass a line item or cash advance through to the driver's settlement, you need to do that here. For example, let's say I want to pay my driver a flat fee for a stop-off. Click on the Manage link here, and a pending deduction or earning window will open. The driver you have on this dispatch will be inserted for you in the account name field. Select the settlement code from the Settlement Type drop-down menu. These are settlement codes you will have already set up in the system. In this scenario, I'm going to select my stop-off settlement code. Choose the method by which you want to pay. In the enterprise version, I can select flat rate or percentage. In the small business versions, you can only select flat rate. In this scenario, I'm going to pay my driver a flat rate, so I'll enter that rate in the rate field. Enter any internal comments. You can add multiple items by clicking the Add Row link. When you're done, click Save. You will now see it on the dispatch form, and this item will pass through to settlements. Finally, review all of the information for accuracy and click Save Dispatch. You will now see the saved dispatch in the Dispatch History section. You also have the ability to dispatch from the Freight Operations dashboard. Let's say I want to dispatch one of my available loads. I can click on this black icon out to the right and then click on the dispatch icon to bring up the Edit Dispatch form. Enter the correct information and click Save Dispatch. After you dispatch a load, it will show up in the Dispatched Loads section. You can dispatch from the Active Drivers section or the Planned Loads section as well. And that covers how to dispatch a load in Transport Pro. If you would like to schedule a demonstration, or if you have any questions, please call us at 800-800-5917 or email us at info@transportpro.net. You can learn more about us by visiting our website, www.transportpro.net. If you are ready to sign up, you can do so by visiting the features page of our website and clicking More Info. Thank you for watching this video.